Hey, welcome everyone to our AI marathon. It's a unique show that we're putting together in the season of AI. And I have Jason Wardrop here. Jason is someone who's very special to our community. He recently won the Affiliate of the Year award. And if you saw some of the clips from the summit events, you might have learned more about him. But I asked Jason to jump in and teach us more things in depth around AI as we're in this season. Jason, thanks for saying yes. I know you have a lot of experience and you're one of our prominent affiliates, but more importantly, you work with a lot of small business owners as well in the real estate world and a couple of other industries. Jason, first of all, thanks for saying yes, man.
Yeah, of course. Well, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So give us your journey real quick, if you don't mind. Take a minute or two and help us understand how you got to 2024 today and where you are in business. So for the folks that do not know you at all, this is maybe the first time they've ever even seen you.
Yeah, for sure. So, I've been kind of a digital marketing nerd since college. So, it was probably back in 2009 where I really started diving deep into things. So, call it 15 years or so. Not all successful 15 years, most of them are failures. But kind of started dabbling in basically everything. Kind of the original drop shipping, buying stuff from China, bringing it over, SEO. And it was probably around like 2013 that I got more in the marketing agency game and was working with kind of every type of clients, nothing specific. And I was doing kind of anything that they wanted, anything that would actually pay me money. And then in 2014, I met a software developer and we had just kind of connected. We were talking about what each other were doing. And then in 2015, we actually decided to partner up and start our own real estate CRM. Well, it wasn't a real estate CRM to begin with. We're just like, let's build this software. It's kind of like the concept was a high level, a very basic high level, like an all-in-one sales marketing platform for small business owners. We ended up kind of going down more of the real estate route and from 2015 to 2021, got over 15,000 paying real estate clients. And then the last 3 years, I've just been promoting HighLevel as an affiliate because I think it's the greatest software out there. It's the only software that I currently use, and yeah, it's been an amazing ride.
Thanks for sharing, man. Well, we're excited that you're part of this world and this ecosystem, and a big engine in my books that moves the needle for a lot of people across the board. So thanks for all your work. So Jason, talk about AI first. I know recently we've launched the AI employee. We're in the AI season.
Yeah.
But the idea of AI seems like a fad. It seems like just it's very like I don't know how much of it to believe almost. So help me
Yeah.
understand and help me build the confidence in AI if you don't mind. Like what is this whole AI thing?
Yeah, honestly, I kind of feel the same way about a lot of the AI things that are coming out. It's like everyone knows AI is kind of the next thing. A lot of things are still in their immature stages and they haven't fully developed. They're not fully there. And so everyone's just trying to go through and say AI everywhere because it's just a big buzzword. Where to me, there's only like a few core things that actually like have a solid, legit use case. And we'll talk about some of those things here because obviously you can throw AI in anything, video, images, creating content, all this stuff. But it's like at the end of the day, how are we using AI to not only simplify our lives, but actually get us the desired end result of which small business owners want, which is basically more clients and to make more money, right? That's like the end goal. So you could throw away all the AI stuff, but it's like what at the core is going to help these businesses get more clients and make more money. And if you could throw AI into that to simplify that and make it faster, better, easier, all that, then obviously it's a no-brainer offer right there.
That makes a lot of sense. And what I'm hoping to do on this uh, session here is to kind of help existing high levelers or even brand new folks that are out there that are not even part of the high level family take the idea of AI and kind of apply to small business world or even the local business? Because I think there's a big opportunity there. So Jason, for the folks that are watching without a high level account or they don't even know what high level is, maybe help us connect the dots of what does high level have to do with AI? Like what I know we have AI employee, but like
Yeah,
what is the correlation?
no, for sure. So HighLevel is an all-in-one sales and marketing software. So what does that mean? It's basically all of the different pieces that you would need to run a business online. So it's got your websites, sales funnels, email, text marketing automation, communication with clients. And so it has all these different features, which that's just like a, very short list of all the different features. But if you think about it, anything that would help you get more awareness for your business, generate more leads, book more appointments, get more clients. HighLevel can do all of those things, right? So then where AI comes in is if you think about like text conversation, right? You can send out like an automated text message, and that's been something that has been done for a while now, like a drip email sequence, drip text sequence to follow up with new leads that are coming in. Well, then what happens when that potential lead or client responds to that text, right? What are we doing then? Then is it like up to the business owner to actually text back or email back or call them back, which up until now, that's pretty much been the case, right? Whereas now we can have AI, this artificial intelligence that we can train, we can give it a knowledge base, we can basically using HighLevel upload our website. We can upload like a Google Doc that has all the FAQs, everything about our business. AI will scan that in about 20 seconds, learn everything it needs to know about your business. And so it can respond to these text messages, to these emails, to these phone calls as if it was you. But if you're a small business owner and you're a roofer, you're fixing the roof, you're a dentist, you're going through and you're working on someone's teeth, you don't always have time to do that. And I know one pushback I get is like, well, dentists all have assistants or secretaries, which is true. However, the cool thing about AI as well is if you have an assistant, first of all, they do a little bit more than just like answering the phones. But if they have an incoming call that they pick it up and they're like, yeah, let's schedule an appointment. What if somebody else calls in? What if somebody else calls in all at the same time? Well, this going to go to a busy signal. They're going to have to leave a voicemail. They're going to have to get back to it. Whereas crazy thing about AI is it can literally handle all these phone calls, all these conversations simultaneously. And so there's just so many advantages to AI, leveraging it with the HighLevel software and a lot of these simple like marketing features and benefits that we get with the HighLevel platform.
I love that. So within this first 5 minutes, the two things we did was we talked about who Jason is and why you should listen. The second thing is we talked about the overarching view of what AI looks like in the world of high level. So let's talk about the how. Maybe I know Jason, you have some slides planned and you have a couple of things
Yeah,
that you want to share. So let's go into that and kind of show people how they can leverage some of these features and build a business around this.
let's do it. Let me just share my screen really quick.
And as you're watching this streaming, like tell us where you're checking in from. I would love to know what city you're in, or maybe give us a one or two in the chat. If, one, if you already are using AI, two, if you're just simply excited for it, haven't implemented it, but you're hoping to learn some things. I would love to just get some engagement in the streaming here, but let's keep going.
All right, let's do it. So I kind of put this little presentation together for you guys, but this is the number one AI offer small businesses have never heard of and how you can get ahead of 99.9% of agencies in 2025. So we're going to go through, break down this offer. And like I said, there's a lot of like, just kind of buzzwords of like AI, which a lot of is kind of fluff, to be completely honest. But the cool thing about this too is even if you are a total beginner, if you have no marketing experience, you don't feel like you're very tech savvy, I'm going to show you guys how simple this is to not only get the desired end result for the business so that they'll want to keep paying you every single month, but also how you can set this up in literally less than 5 minutes. This is extremely easy. You don't have to have any crazy tech skills to do this. All right. So, as I was putting this together, the one thing that kept coming to my head is success is sometimes all about the right timing, right? And that's why I'm actually super excited that you guys are all watching here today because you are in literally one of the best times to be able to catch this AI wave of going through and starting an agency and tapping into this new offer that I'm about to show you, right? And so, as we're speaking about timing, I just want you to imagine if you were to invest in Apple stock back in 1980, right? Just nailing that right timing, going through investing back when with stock splits, all that stuff was about 10 cents per share. Whereas fast forward to today, this was as of yesterday, so I didn't check it this morning, but it was $228 per share, right? Just timing alone, and you would have been a multimillionaire by just investing $1,000 back in 1980. Or Amazon stock back in 1997 with stock splits, that was about 7.5 cents per share, whereas now it's roughly $204 per share. Once again, timing, just nailing the right timing. Bitcoin, we don't even have to go back to the early infancy of it. Let's just go back, 9 years to 2015, $430 per share. Now everyone's kicking themselves, especially after the election results and Bitcoin's shot through the roof. And once again, I didn't check this morning, but yesterday it was at $92,000 per share. So I unfortunately don't have any Bitcoin, but it would have been nice to ride that run up right there. And honestly, this whole wave of like what's happened with these currencies, with these companies, the same thing has happened in the agency world, right? And I call this the agency gold rush. And like I said, I've been doing this stuff since like 2009, not since like the beginning of the internet, but like fairly early on. And initially, if you started an agency back in the late 90s, early 2000s, and you were just selling websites, you were crushing it. Like there was basically no competition because none of these businesses had a website. And it was basically like, hey, do you want to get found online? Let me build you a website. It could have been the crappiest website ever, but it was a massive gold rush of just jumping in, building websites. Whereas now, like, yes, there's lots of website agencies. They're successful. It works, but most businesses have a website now. And a lot of times it's like it's free to go through and get started. And so then after this whole transition of everyone going through rushing to build websites, well, now we've got everyone with a website. And so Google had to come around and organize all the information that was online, all these websites. And that's where search engine optimization or SEO started. And that's kind of actually where I got into the game with SEO. I was building this massive dental website. And basically, if you went and offered SEO back in the like, let's say 2007, 8, 9, it was a no-brainer. Everyone wanted it. Nobody had been pitched it, and that was a huge need for these businesses. And then everyone's doing SEO, and Google Ads comes around. It's like, hey, do you want to just pay to play? Like those keywords, you want to be at the top? All you got to do is pay to play. And it was very cheap back then when it first got started. And so that was like, you jump in, start an agency, offer Google Ads, boom, you're successful. And then came around Facebook ads, and this is kind of where I got my start and jumped in. But basically, if you offered Facebook ads to small businesses, kind of didn't matter what you did. And honestly, you didn't even have to be that good because Facebook ads were so cheap back in the day that you just go through and offer Facebook ads. And once again, you are going to have a successful business. And so now the next gold rush, we're entering into this AI phase, right? But like we talked about earlier, Paulson, you can't just go off for just AI anything, right? Because honestly, a lot of this AI is pretty fluffy stuff. So we got to know the exact right offer to present to these businesses. And a lot of these businesses, they know that AI is a thing. Like they're very aware of it. They just don't know how to successfully use it in their business. And that is where you come in, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to skim through this pretty quick because we already kind of covered a lot of this, but got my start SEO, like I said, like trying to do the SEO game back in 2009. Got more into the agency game in 2013. And then I started my own real estate CRM in 2015. Started actually getting real traction with it in 2016. Was not a full success right out of the gate. It took a little bit of time. And then was able to get over 15,000 paying clients over the next 6 years. And now I promote the number one agency software in the world, which is HighLevel, right? Which I know we already kind of hit that, but wanted to just kind of skim through that real quick.
Yeah, and one of the things that I just want to roll in here, the first two slides we talked about, the potential growth from, things like investing into Apple and Bitcoin, and now we're talking about the gold rush. In by no means are we implying that you're gonna go make a bunch of money. This is not
Yeah,
a
exactly,
revenue,
exactly.
this is not a revenue claim of any kind. These are just, we're just sharing from experiences of what we're seeing, what we're commenting on where we feel like the industry is going, but you need to do your own research. But you got lucky.
Yes, Paulson, I appreciate you saying that. This is no income claim or anything like that. And obviously, back when Apple's first started, Amazon first started, Bitcoin, like hindsight 2020, you know what it is now. Whereas like back then, it was like, okay, we didn't really know what was going to happen. Anyway, so I talked about the cool results that I got, 15,000 paying clients, all that stuff. But honestly, I feel like I kind of just got lucky. I rode this wave of I got in when Facebook ads were hot, right? Like, yes, obviously I had to put in the work, right? It wasn't like just like a push button, make money type of thing. I had to put in the work, but then Facebook ads were hot. I offered it to realtors, which is a massive addressable market right there. And I became the go-to guy. I mean, at the time, I was spending over $100,000 per month on Facebook ads to get in front of real estate clients. And I started making a YouTube channel. So I was kind of just like trying to be everywhere as the go-to guy for Facebook ads. And honestly, it was kind of easy because I was early on this offer and I was capitalizing on a hot offer in a hot market. And honestly, a lot of my friends that were kind of like on their come up around the same time, talk to them today and they'll all kind of admit the same thing. Like Facebook ads were easy. You go through, you market to realtors, gym owners, chiropractors, didn't matter. It was just, it was the go-to offer to go through and offer to these small businesses. And now 8 years later, almost all realtors have been pitched Facebook ads, right? Where it's like, Facebook ads, you could still build a successful Facebook ads agency selling to realtors. However, it's not like the hot new thing. Most of them had tried it, and a lot of them have been burned by it, and a lot of them kind of know the end result. And if people had success, they're probably still with the same agency. So it's like, yes, it can work, but it's not going to be like as hot of an item as when I first got started 8 years ago, right? So today, my goal is I want to show you what I personally believe. It's not hard fact, but what I personally believe to be the next Facebook ads offer of 2024, honestly, moving into 2025 here. But we got to remember this: your offer, whatever it is, right? It needs to tap into the core of what small businesses need. And that's what SMBs stand for, right? They're small businesses, what they actually need. And that's kind of like what we were talking about a little bit earlier, where it's like, you can't just throw AI into something that's just crap and expect it is still going to sell. You got to go through and tap in their core needs. So most business owners, they just want more clients, right? Because like more clients equals more money. And this is actually funny. I was on a coaching call about a month ago with someone who's brand new to HighLevel, just jumping into the game, and they were on the phone with a landscaper, and they were trying to articulate the value and talking about all the features. Oh, we could do this and we could do that, and all these cool things. And after about 2, 3 minutes of them rambling on, the landscaper asked them, "So, will this help me get more clients?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, 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 it'll help you get more clients." And they're like, "Okay, perfect. Then I'm in. That's all I want." Right? So sometimes we get into this whole like jargon of all these cool things where it's like they just want more clients. Okay? But there's a lot of ways to get more clients. And we talked about them a little bit earlier. Like initially it was like just get a website and do SEO, Google ads, Facebook ads. Now AI, there's a lot of different ways we can go through and get more clients. So this is what I call the client offer spectrum. And as we're going through here, if we're working with any type of business, doesn't matter who they are, off on the right hand side, this is like the highest value lever that you could pull. So basically, let's say I went to a plumber and I said, "Hey, pay me 10 grand and I'll give you 12 grand every single time you pay me 10 grand." Right? they're going to pay you 10 grand, right? Because there's like, yes, I see the value in that. If you're going to make me 12 grand, I'm going to pay you 10 grand. Whereas like if you just say on the far left side, hey, I'm going to get more eyeballs on your business, but doesn't really equate to anything, they're probably not really willing to pay that much for whatever that service is, right? And so what we need to do is also understand as we're going through this, we start with awareness. People have to know what your business is before they opt in to become a lead, before someone gives you their name, phone number, and email address. And then you need a lead before someone is able to book an appointment on your calendar. And then you kind of need appointments before you can turn them into a client, and you need a client in order to make money, right? But as an agency owner or someone helping a small business with their marketing, you need to know where your offer starts and where it ends, right? So, like for me in real estate, I could help real estate agents with awareness, get more eyeballs on their business. I could help them with leads. I can help them with the follow up of their leads to book more appointments. But then at some point, I got to pass the baton off to the realtor, because if I could just sell the homes online, I wouldn't really need the realtor and I would just do it all, right? And so typically, this is where I like to call it the handoff, right? Where it's like I can book appointments, but at some point we got to do a handoff. And so it's really important to understand where your services start and stop to deliver the value to these business owners, right?
You mean to tell me,
So
Jason, that they're going to do a good job if we just give them all the leads? Is that what you're saying?
It would, it everyone's experience is going to be is going to vary greatly. So yeah, I mean, after working with all the realtors that we did, some of them that were full-time realtors had the experience. They
Yeah,
could close them really well. They knew how to do it, but some of the beginners just getting into
yeah,
real estate was a little bit more of a
yeah.
difficulty there, for
Yeah, with
sure.
my agency being in dental, they were not salespeople at all. Of course, dentists were better at sales positioning versus the average physician. You know, they had things like case showings and all kinds of trainings, but it's still different when you are taking someone from the internet and selling them over the phone or a
Yep.
Zoom to a physical location appointment, right? They're going to
Yep.
see differences when they deal with cold leads versus they will
Yep.
tell you, hey, I convert everybody that walk in. I'm like, yeah, they walked in. So
Well,
every,
especially, yeah, like you're saying, especially
yeah,
if you're running ads versus
right.
even organically finding your website and
Yeah.
opting in that way. Very big difference as well.
Exactly. So I'm excited to see what AI is going to change there in the lead scoring and the ability to convert. But let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Okay, let's do it. So, based on that, if you can help small businesses consistently book appointments for their business, you win. Right? Like that is what they need. That is the core of what they need to help them grow their business. And obviously, like every business is going to be a little bit different on how they handle the appointments and all that stuff. But that's kind of like, at least for me, that's kind of like usually the best of what I can go through and offer and deliver to these small businesses. But here's the thing. We don't want to make it harder than it needs to be, right? I'm all about simplicity and delivering massive value and results, but making it simple. Okay. So what we want to do is focus on plugging the holes in their business. And cool thing is every small business has tons of holes, right? Any business, even big businesses, medium sized, like all different type of businesses have massive holes. And so what we want to do is focus on solving a problem. And honestly, we can just focus on solving a singular problem. And a big problem that every small business has is that they're busy and they don't have time to pick up the phone. All right. And statistics show, which you can also Google this because I've had people ask me all the time, like, where'd you come with that number and all this? I should put the source here, but you can Google it and find this. That 62% of calls going to these small businesses go unanswered,
Mm.
right? Which is crazy because like they're doing all this work to get attention, awareness, leads, all this stuff. But when a call is literally coming into their business, more than half of them are not even being picked up, which totally makes sense. Small businesses, they're busy. They don't have like this massive team to go through and answer every phone call. And then if multiple calls are coming in at the same time, they're usually busy doing the actual work, doing the job
Yeah.
that they've been paid to do, right? And
Yeah.
so if we look at this,
Most of
oh,
them
sorry,
are
go for it.
you could most of them are fulfillment focused, and their business
Exactly.
mentality is built on the quality of what they're delivering, where we're focused on the sales and marketing for them. So they got to get to a world where they're not in the trenches doing the work that they're selling for them to scale essentially. So most mom and pops are going to be focused on quality of the fulfillment. That's how they
Yep.
think they're going to build a business.
Which at the end of the day, that is the core of it is having a quality product, quality service where they can grow word of mouth, but there's still, still holes that need to be filled with that folks as well. And that's, obviously where it's like it's beneficial for multiple groups working together here. So if you look at this, I just typed in plumber, Dallas, Texas. You can type in any small business owner, any city, doesn't really matter what it is. But if we go with the data of 62% of calls coming into these small businesses are going unanswered, there's a lot of wasted money. So you look at these first two results, these are sponsored, which means they are paying to be there at the top, right? And obviously the 62% is across the board, across all businesses. So maybe they've got their systems a little bit more dialed in. But if they're paying to be at the top, they're getting phone calls coming in and they're not getting answered, that's wasted money, right? Now let's go down and look at the organic results. We got Metro Flow Plumbing, Public Service Plumbers, Pure Plumbing. If they are at the top right here, especially in a place like Dallas, which is a massive city, they have invested a lot of money into not only their SEO, search engine optimization of getting ranked at the top of Google, but also you look at all these, like the top two have over 1,000 reviews. That just doesn't happen by accident. They have invested time and money to getting more reviews. So now if you're investing all this time, all this money into showing up, but then you're not actually showing up when they call, it's a ton of money just going down the drain. Because what happens if you are looking for a plumber in Dallas, Texas? Well, you're probably going to go through, depending on who you are. Maybe you'll call one of the ads. Typically, I go with the organic results. And if they don't answer, I'm going to the next one. And if they don't answer, going to the next one. I'm just like, I don't care. My toilet's leaking. I don't care who it is. I just need it fixed. Right. So that's a huge hole that we can go through and help them with. And so just hear me out for those of you guys who are familiar with HighLevel and are familiar with missed call text back. This is not a pitch for missed call text back. This is step one of the AI evolution of how we go through and fix this, right? This actually gets significant. I think missed call text back is super cool, which I'll explain what that is here in just a second, but it gets even cooler, right? So this is kind of the evolution of how we can go through and help these businesses. So if we go through and we call the first business and then they don't answer, so we call the next business. Well, what we can do is set up these businesses with a simple service called auto missed call text back. Whereas if we call Metro Flow Plumbing and they don't answer, and what we can do is have an automated text be sent out to the person that called in that says, "Hey, sorry I missed your call. How can I help you?" Which then at least takes that phone call that was missed and turns it into more of a sales texting conversation. So hopefully that person is not just going to jump down and call the public service plumbers. They're going to like go through, respond to the text, like, okay, I've at least made contact, right? So that is kind of the goal there. So this missed call text back service, it saves this missed revenue opportunities of these incoming calls. And yes, I fully understand guys that are watching, that are picking this apart, that not all incoming calls are new clients. Sometimes they like our existing clients, but just like we understand that whole landscape. But what we're able to do is turn these missed phone calls into text conversations to hopefully save the deal, right? Which is a huge value add. But if you are an agency owner and if you're an existing agency owner, and you've set this up, you still know that you have a big problem. Okay. And that is something called A2P, which I will say HighLevel just released something that's making A2P significantly easier. And for those of you guys thinking like, Jason, what the heck is A2P? It is a governmental required compliance thing that businesses have to do, that they have to do this application process to be compliant when they're texting their clients. So basically, they have to take their phone number, put it through this compliance process, give them their EIN, their business identity number, and all that to basically say, like, hey, this is who we are. This is the number that we're texting from, so that the government can say, okay, you're clear to go through and text, right? So as we're going through and we're setting this up, we're trying to go through and grow this offer at scale. A2P can be a big roadblock into making the systems super dialed in that we're going through and scaling this, right? So this leads us into the number one AI offer small businesses have never heard of, all right? And I want you to imagine this scenario, okay? Let's say you call one of these businesses, like we just have been talking about, and the business that rings 4 or 5 times and the business doesn't answer, like 62% of these businesses don't. But instead of a text, an AI assistant answered. And this AI assistant that answers actually sounds pretty close to a real human, right? Like we're not trying to fake anyone here. We can say it's an AI assistant, but like you can have a male voice, female voice, young, old, whatever type of voice you want. But that is the person that answers. They're then able to answer every question that the person calling in asks perfectly, right? Perfectly. And they're able to take down important information that the caller is calling about, adding it into notes and just write all that information down. They're also able to book an appointment on the business owner's calendar automatically, and they're able to take unlimited sales calls simultaneously, or just let's just say it doesn't even say sales call, just calls simultaneously. They book an appointment to address concerns about some offering or whatever it is, and this AI assistant never gets sick, never gets tired, never goes on vacation. You don't have to pay health benefits or anything like that to this AI assistant. And imagine if this whole scenario, we could set it up and get it live in 5 minutes, and it doesn't require A2P because this is voice calling. So the A2P is only required with texting, and it is free for agency owners to resell this exact service I'm about to show you guys from now until the end of the year. And that's
Yeah,
pretty crazy, right?
that is a wild thing. And I remember, first of all, kudos to our founders and our, leaders and everything that listened to the idea of rolling this thing out for free. Because initially we didn't have plans to roll it out for free because it costs a lot.
Yeah.
That's just
Oh, for
not
sure.
a thing. And then Jason and I and a couple of others were just like, man, how are we gonna create awareness and bring the best adoption? And we were just like, why don't we just bite the bullet and see what happens and just create the exposure because we truly believe in the value of this for an entrepreneur, a marketing agency owner, even a small business owner that's in here that's a bit marketing savvy. I think the setup is pretty easy. It's not over the top, but the value that it creates is like enormous, and the crazy thing is, Jason, is there isn't a lot of pressure on fulfillment except for research. Like, yes, you have to do some research and continue to train the thing, or create workflows that make better sense. So from a R&D standpoint, yes, you have to evolve, but you're not running Facebook ads anymore. You're not doing Google ads and SEO, and that gold rush is beyond us. I'm
Yep.
excited for this. I wish it was longer, but the AI season's gonna end December 31st this year for high level. But yeah, tell us more.
So it's gonna end December 31st, but then from there on out, starting January, it's gonna be based off of pay per use. So you're only paying if you actually use it, Or if you're like using a ton, then they have a $97 per month unlimited AI for your account, right?
which
So
is
like
which is
honestly,
insane on its own. Like no
honestly,
one.
that's insane as well. So so basically the which I'm going to demo for you guys here in just a second, but like what I'm trying to say is from now and what I've been trying to deliver the message this whole time is like right now is literally the best time to jump in and get started. Because also if you can go through and just get first of all, no business owner and even knows about this stuff. So it doesn't even matter like what niche, industry, whatever, like you can go through, talk to any business in any location, and this is going to just blow their minds with the value you can create for them. And hey, if you're not great at sales, say, hey, I'll offer it for you to for free for 7 days because it doesn't cost you anything either. So that is where the best place is to go through, get your foot in the door over the next 6 weeks, get some testimonials, some client results, and then starting in January when it actually starts costing money, you just leverage those results and testimonies from other business owners and start sharing those and other people are going to want to jump on, right? So anyway, this is introducing the AI voice. So I want to go through, I want to just like demo this for you guys really quick because this is actually pretty legit how this is all set up here. So if you guys also, if you want to ever try it at home, you can go through and try it. This is a little demo phone call number or phone number that's set up. This is for an electrician, all right? So I'm going to call this here so you guys can hear exactly how this works. And this is super simple beta version. This call will be recorded for quality purposes.
Hey, you have reached Instant Electrician Service. How can I help you today?
Hey, yeah, my power went out in my basement.
Oh no, that sounds frustrating. Let's get this sorted out. Could I start by getting your name, please?
Yeah, it's Jason Wardrop.
Just to make sure I've got it right, your name is Jasonwardrop. Is that correct?
Yep, that's right.
Great, thanks, Jason. Could you also provide your email address so we can keep in touch?
Yeah, it's jwar1088 at gmail.com.
Just to make sure I've got it right, your email address is jwar1088@gmail.com. Is that correct?
Yep, that's right.
Awesome, thanks. Now, could you tell me a bit more about the power issue in your basement?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I tried flipping the breakers and everything, but it's still just the lights aren't coming on.
Got it. That sounds frustrating. I'll make sure our team gets back to you quickly to help sort this out. Thanks for reaching out, Jason. Have a great day.
All right. Well, how cool is that, guys?
That is
Obviously,
the
obviously
gold
that was a
rush.
super simplified, very basic version, which I'm going to show you guys here in a second that we can actually do some really cool things. I've got a friend, well, Paulson and I both have a friend, Beyond, who set it up for his pizza shop. And the
Yeah.
pizza shop, you call in, it asks about dietary restrictions. He asks about, hey, what toppings are on this pizza? And it's like gives a full breakdown because he's trained the AI voice assistant what the toppings are, what the menu is. It even texts him the menu on the call. It's like, hey, let me just shoot you a text with the menu so you can take a look at everything we got. And pretty soon here, he's going to be able to have them like literally order online, right? Or not online, on through the AI assistant.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So if you
personally
oh
let's pause for a second because that
yeah,
is
let's do it.
what you just witnessed there is first of all that wasn't planned. That's just something Jason decided to do for the presentation, which I'm super grateful for. Um, You're not going to set something like that up that easy. Inside of high level, there's a lot of flexibility. There's a lot of like, freedom that you have as the agency owner to get creative. There's not a lot of limitations from what I know. Of course, it's going to evolve over time. But Jason, how long did that take you to set up, even for that demo? Like, what was the work behind that?
Honestly, 3 minutes, and I'll, I'll show you guys here in a minute, like how simple is it set up. And the crazy thing too, Paulson, is like my last name. I don't know. I don't think it's that hard because it's like it's my last name. But like usually people don't know how to spell my last name, and like first shot, no like corrections, nothing. I just said Jason Wardrop, and the AI assistant was like, "Is this how you spell it?" And I'm like, "Yep, that's it." So it's like very first, so I don't know. So like to me, that was one of the most impressive things of like, all right, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then also addressing like, oh, you've tried to flip the breaker and the lights are out. Man, that sounds frustrating. Like there's more human components to it than you think,
Yeah.
which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, so here's my personal opinion. I think this whole AI gold rush, it's gonna go beyond sales and marketing. So like right now, a lot of us are imagining it to be the front desk, right? Being kind
Yep.
of complemented or even replaced. But I think we'll get to a world where people rather just engage with the AI instead of a human unless they really need to. Like recently I had a call from a physician in Arizona and she was like, "Hey, Paulson, I'm really excited about this AI thing. Is there someone that you recommend that I can talk to that can help me set up this agent person that'll educate all my patients for like 30, 40 minutes before the following day or their appointment?" So people are
Mm,
looking at it from like an educational standpoint in different layers as well. So I personally think
interesting.
we'll go beyond just that front desk person, or just like a
Oh, for
reminders
sure.
person. We'll go beyond that in my personal opinion. But it creates better efficiency, right, Jason?
Oh, for sure. It's so yeah. So if you look at that, it's more efficient, costs less. If you got like a assistant secretary at the front desk, my guess is you're paying them at least 3 grand a month, right? They're able to book more appointments, more money, or you're able to make more money off of it. And going back to the whole point of like, it's never on vacation, never gets sick, tired, or whatever. I remember a couple weeks ago, I was calling in, I think it was like to the credit card company, and the person on their line, you could just tell they were having a bad day, right? Like they were just grumpy and all that stuff, which it's like, that happens. Like humans are humans. Whereas if you want to put a certain face forward on your business and having kind of like this uplift, like it's not going to get to a point where AI can't get offended, right? I was actually reading through, a little off topic, but there was an AI voice script because you get an email script of every AI voice call that comes into your business. And the person I think was just messing it. They were being very vulgar with their language. And the AI assistant was just like, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear it. It sounds like you're frustrated." And like, that's tough. And like, just like still answering in a very nice way where it's like a typical person, it like, obviously they probably wouldn't be as vulgar to a real person, but it's just a whole different setup, right? And so you're able to, I don't know, just put a little bit better foot forward with your business. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm super excited about it on a number of accounts. But a couple of things that I get asked about a lot, which Paul, so if I miss anything here that you get asked a lot about as well, just let me know. Um, People ask all the time, okay, is it going to be available in Spanish or French or any of these other languages? And I believe there are already 30 languages that are literally ready to go, but have not been released yet because what we're trying to do is, since the whole team, the main language is English, they're trying to perfect everything in English, make sure all the bugs are worked out, make sure everything is dialed in first with English. And then as soon as everything's dialed in with English, they're going to have 30 languages like set, ready to go. And I think a lot of them were kind of like the Latin based languages from what I remember.
yep, yeah,
Spanish, Italian, and not that like German is, but like some of these other ones that are like a little bit more common languages that
yeah,
are going to be spoken. So those are coming very soon, probably potentially Q1. Don't hold me accountable to that, but probably within the next couple months. And then you noticed on the call, it was a basic setup. It didn't like book an appointment, but from what everything I've heard in discussion, booking appointments on the calendar that's going to be synced with HighLevel as well, because HighLevel, those of you guys who are new to HighLevel, it has a full calendar appointment booking system built in. So the AI is going to be able to scan the calendar inside of HighLevel and just know what times are available. That's all going to be done over the phone. And that one probably is even sooner than the multilingual. And then another one that's going to be soon, which is, I know a lot of people are excited about this. I I'm kind of indifferent on it. I don't think it's like the biggest deal in the world, but I know some people are like, this is going to be game changers, is the outbound calls. So those are all incoming calls. Well, imagine if you could do like if you're, a sales organization and you're trying to set appointments and you have setters do outbound calls to reach out to people, or if you're a dentist trying to remind patients of an appointment or something like that, you can do that. And then this one, Paulson, you have to correct me if I'm wrong. I think this is being talked about. I don't know
Yes.
because there's probably some compliance issues here on storing credit card information, but possibility of processing payments over the phone, which would
Yeah.
be really cool. But obviously, there's a lot of complexities into
Yeah.
compliance and like actually having the
Yeah.
credit card being read off over the phone and all those things.
Yeah. I mean, the vision and how high level functions is we're customer centric. So if you as an agency owner, or I guess now we can call it an AI provider of some kind, like you have to give us feedback, and based on that feedback, we'll adjust and develop, and that's just been our style. So if you're watching from the outside and don't have a high level account. Like we listened to the brand new agency that just slapped on a new LLC 2 weeks ago, as well as the megaliths out of Chicago that are massive Fortune 100s. Like we listen to
Mm,
everybody in what we need to develop. So this being listed out is perfect because I think there's even more to this, right? So as we go into Q1, Q2, Q3, you're gonna see this AI thing become bigger and bigger and more matured because I personally think this is not a wave. This is something that's here to stay. This is the
for
new,
sure.
the new, the new structure of marketing and sales across the
Yep.
board, whether you use high level or not. This is here to stay for a long time. And what I mean by that is AI in general. So yeah, definitely more things are coming.
Well, and one thing I'll say to that too, Paulson, obviously I might be a little biased with high level. Like I said, I don't work for high level like Paulson, but I'm an affiliate for high level. But I get asked all the time, like, oh, well, what do you think about this AI software or this one or this one seems cheaper than high level or all these different questions, right? And whenever somebody sends them to me, I always take an honest look. I'm always just like, yeah, I'll take a look, see what's behind the hood and what's going on. And at the end of the day, a lot of these softwares, you kind of end up needing a high level account anyway to really make the AI software fully functional. Because yes, there are softwares that do the AI voice thing, that they'll do like AI texting, like the conversational based AI. But then if you're going to book an appointment on someone's calendar, well, guess what? High Level has the calendar to book the appointment. And so a lot of these softwares, they're then just syncing in with High Level. And then they're going to need a CRM to store the data, which High Level has the CRM or the contact customer relationship management portal to store the data. So a lot of times if you see one, and I'm saying this because literally yesterday someone was like, "What about this one? It seems cheaper than high level," which it really wasn't even much cheaper. It was like basically like a penny per minute on the voice messaging or something like that. And but then it's like you still have to one integrate it with another tool, so then you have to buy the other tool, which then it doesn't make it cheaper, right? So I know
Your total
no one
operating
necessarily
cost, yeah, your total
yeah, your total
operating
oper
cost is
it goes
still
up, and then
higher.
also
Yeah.
the complexity. And this is one reason why I got sold on high level like 3 years ago when I first like kind of started discovering it was just the simple all-in-one. Like when I moved over to high level, I saved over, I think it was over $15,000 in annual software subscriptions by just moving over to high level. And it was not only a $15,000 per year saving, but now I'm gonna have to log into one software and then another, and like try to piecemeal all these together. It was just that much better, right? So now we take this and we can easily turn this into a no-brainer $300 to $500 per month offer for the business owner because you hopefully you can see the 10x value creation for the business. They're able to save time, whether it's them as the business owner, the assistant, the secretary. They're able to save money because you can offer this for $300 to $500 per month versus a $3,000 to $5,000 per month assistant. It's able to book more appointments for you. and you can be the first to introduce this to businesses, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's the gold rush offer for 2025 here. And I'm going to show you guys this here in a second. This is the cool thing is fulfillment. A lot of times beginners, they get nervous going through and pitching this to a business if they've never done it before because they're like, I don't know if I have the expertise to run Facebook ads, or I don't know how to do SEO, or I don't know how to build a website, or any of these things, which some of those things they do take some tech knowledge and like you have to know some things. Whereas this, we're relying on software, on AI, on these systems. It's 100% beginner friendly, and you can literally get this set up in like 3 to 5 minutes. And and I get asked sometimes, well, who should I be talking to? Who should I be selling this to? Literally every business needs this, and zero that I know of have it, right? So we're talking tens of millions of small business owners in the US alone. So this is a massive opportunity that we have for us right here. So let me just show you guys really quick. This is not going to take long because obviously it's like a 5 minute setup. But let me just share my screen to show you guys how simple this is to get rolling here. Okay. So for those of you guys who are new to HighLevel, this is what the HighLevel dashboard looks like. Like if we're in an account that we're running for a client. Okay. And so this is the season of AI. This is kind of newly released just as of a couple days ago, free until the end of the year. And I'm just, guys, I'm literally just talking about the voice AI here. There's a lot more AI functionalities and pieces, conversational AI. So AI can take that same knowledge base, text back and forth with clients, have Facebook, Instagram, DMs, live chats, review AI. So like respond to all the reviews that are coming into your business, funnel and website AI. So be able to create websites with AI, the entire website, content AI, which is basically going through and writing a blog post, social media content, any of this type of content, or this workflow AI assistant. This one's more a little bit more specific to HighLevel, but this is like your whole marketing workflows, basically your follow-ups to your leads. And pretty
It's like
soon
an
here,
automation assistant essentially.
yeah, the automation assistant. And pretty soon here, it's going to be really cool where you could literally just tell AI, hey, I want you to build this type of follow-up, and then AI will literally build the entire thing for you. And so just think about the time and that it's going to save you on that front of putting it all together. Okay, so let's talk about the voice AI. So we can either click right here, or we come over here to settings. You see, we've got the voice AI agent, we've got the conversation AI. This is kind of like the newer version, but we just click on this voice AI. I'm just going to move these heads right here. And we just click on create an agent right here. So we give this a name. So we'll say Jason's AI executive assistant, right? You can name it whatever you want. And then the business name, we'll just name it AI business. And then we have a variety of different voices, which I think they just announced there was like 60 more voices or something like that that were
Oh
just
wow.
released.
That's
So
pretty
I
cool.
think Sean was saying that yesterday, but so you go through, listen what type of voices, like this Samantha one.
Before you put on a frown, make absolutely sure there are no smiles available.
Anyway, I don't know
Yeah.
if you could hear that.
Can you let me hear like the British one? I'm always
Yeah,
fascinated by
let's check it
this.
out. There's an
Pretty funny.
Australian, British right here, Nigel.
We lost because we told ourselves we lost.
Could you hear that?
Yeah, that's pretty
Okay,
insane.
awesome.
Do a
So
different
yeah,
one. Do a different one for fun. Just do like a
yeah, let's
Swedish
do it.
one.
Let's do it.
Swedish or
Let's do.
Australian maybe.
Yeah, where was that? Australia. That was down here, I think. So, Samantha.
Before you put on a frown, make absolutely
Wait,
sure there are no smiles available.
I
that
guess
was
that
one we
was the
already did, and
default one.
that did
Yeah.
not sound Australian there. Um, Tyrell, African.
The best way out is always through.
All right, there we go. A little British.
So is cheerfulness, or a good temper. The more it is spent, the more remains.
That's straight out of
Hey,
the movie credits. Like
I
when they
know for
talk.
real.
I like
That's
the
what it's
different
our like
variety.
an audible book, like the voice of some guy reading an audible book.
But it's cool
Uh,
that there's options, you're not just having one default, uh, boring thing.
totally. And here's the deal, guys. When I say this setup takes 3 minutes, obviously you could spend probably 15 minutes playing around with the different voices. So don't take that into account here. But if we're going through, you can see just agent name, business name, have as much time as you want playing around with the voices. And then this is specifically for the inbound calls, which I demoed. Now you can see the outbound calls is coming very soon.
Right.
And then the agent's initial message, hey, you've reached, let's just say, my AI business, whatever you want to say. So you can customize this initial message of like when the answer when the phone's picked up, what the person's saying. So one thing I know, some people are like, well, I don't want it to be like trying to fool the person that it's AI and it's not a real person. Well, you can just say, hey, you've reached, Jason's AI executive assistant. How can I help you today? That's actually what I have for mine. So I'm not trying to fool anyone. I'm letting them know it's like an AI assistant, but like it can go through and process all the questions, right?
Yeah.
Um, so then once we have that, we just come down here, we hit next. And then for this first little demo, I'm just going to do the basic version, and that is the quick one. You get up 3 to 5 minutes, and so it says, "Hey, what's the agent's goal? What do you want to do?" So we wanted to collect. Let's probably say the name, the email, and it automatically pulls the phone because it knows which phone number you're calling from, right? And
Oh
then
yeah.
if you wanted the physical address, you could do the address or like the contacts issue. So this was the setup for that electrician that I showed you guys because they asked me my name, asked me email, what was the issue. So I can go through and take those down as notes inside of my contacts note section. And then down here, you could do some cool things where a workflow is like an automated, like a marketing automation sequence that can be triggered once the call is taken down. So, like, let's
Okay.
say after the call, you want to send them an email to book an appointment or send a text to book an appointment or something like that. Or you could even do like, hey, let's wait 15 minutes and then send the text or whatever it might be. You
Yeah.
can easily do that. And then this is something I have on where I get an email after every call is completed. So then I can go through and look at the transcription of what was actually said in the call. Okay. So you
Mm.
can do those
Yeah.
things.
In the beginning,
Then,
when you're setting that up, you want those confirmations so you can self-study the process, right?
oh, for sure, for sure, to fully understand all those different things. And then we just select a phone number right here. And then you could say, hey, I only want it working during certain hours of the day, which obviously that's up to you. I'm kind of the type where I'm like, well, if it's AI and it doesn't really matter, then I'm just going to have it set up all the time, right?
Yeah.
And so then I would just hit save, and that's it, guys. It's just going to go roll, and that's all the whole setup takes.
Is
However,
there?
there is a
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
oh, so there is an advanced version, which I'll show you guys that just really quick. Let me just refresh this.
Yeah,
So
because
there's an
my question
advanced
was
one.
gonna be like, does this have to be installed in like a website? Like how do people find this
Yeah, great
feature?
question.
Yeah.
Great question. So this would just be the phone number. So if you guys are watching this later, like a recording of this later, and you call this, I might end up deleting this just for demo purposes because this is a demo account. So don't hold me to that. But basically, that phone number would be how this is set up, right? So you would put that phone number on your Facebook page, on your website, on your Google My Business profile,
Next to your
anywhere that somebody would
truck.
be calling
Yeah.
in is
On
how that would work.
on your truck, the billboard, the
Yeah, the
magazine, the
truck, billboards,
chamber.
exactly. Anywhere where you would normally have a phone number for your business, right? Now, just kind of whiz through this really quick here. We're just going to leave this here, business name, agent name, same process. But if we come down here, we can switch to advanced mode. And so this is what my friend Beyond did that I was telling you guys about, who has the pizza shop. What he did, this is where you can train the AI agent right here. It says background info. You are my agent 967. It's like you can go through and give it a background info, what it is, what it's supposed to be doing. So he went and trained it and said, hey, look, you work for my pizza shop, whatever the pizza shop is. And here is the menu. If people have dietary restrictions, here are the different things. So he went through and put all the information in here. And then the AI agent is able to scan all that, instantly learn it. And then if you need to go through and like say, oh, I need to add this or that, you can go through and like update this so that like it's always answering the most accurate, up-to-date information. And then, like I told you, when my friend Beyond was going through calling the pizza shop, he was like, "Hey, do you have a menu you could send me?" This is where he could go click on send SMS and create an action. Whereas if somebody on the call said, "Hey, I need your menu," or "I need XYZ," whatever it is, or like, let's say you're a real estate agent, "I need info on the house on Main Street," right? They can send out the brochure on that specific house via text. Or you can see all these different things, update the contact fields. You can throw in different contact information pieces. And then one that I know is huge in the real estate world, because they have people that are called ISAs, which are basically they take all the phone calls to then do a live transfer to the real estate agents. So the real estate agent's not having to just like take calls all day. You can do a call transfer, right? So like the AI agent maybe takes it initially. If you're getting a lot of calls, it's able to filter through the calls, and based on what is going on in the conversation with the AI agent, you're able to transfer it to another phone number, which is
Wow. Wow.
game
It's
changing, right? Like this is going to take the real estate world over by storm, because I know a lot of people charge a lot of money for these ISA live transfer services, which this is going to be able to completely take that
yeah.
over, and you won't even need that anymore.
Quick question for you, Jason. So like the send SMS or all those things, is that going to happen while the AI is on the call itself, or is it after the call is over, they send a text message?
It's a great question. I'm pretty sure it happens right on the call.
Okay,
Do
wow.
you,
Because
I mean,
then
do you have a better answer than I do on that?
I'll do some research internally. You know me, I'm not the tech wizard, but I'll talk to Chase about it and see if the actual workflows are getting triggered or whatever. Because if I'm
Yeah,
like on a call, I'm like, hey, can you send me the menu? I want to be like, hey, did you get the menu? We just sent it, you know?
when
Um,
when I talked to Beyond, I think he said that the text, like he's like, "Hey, can you text me over the menu?" And I think
it's
he
on
said
the
that
call.
texted immediately,
Yeah.
like right on the call.
Yeah. See, that's another
So don't
that's a
quote me on
big
that, but I'm
deal.
pretty sure that's
Yeah.
how it works.
Yeah, that's a big deal in the grand scheme of calls management because now you
Totally.
could, it's a whole different environment versus you have to cut off the call and call back and all kinds of stuff
Yeah.
because the system does, it's limited. But yeah, so how much can you load into this? Like, is there a limitation? Can I load in like a book about electrical diagnosis problems, you know?
So if you see here, so we've got, I mean, we've got, I don't know, a few hundred words here, and it looks like we've got, maybe it's a 2,000 word limit. I don't know
Gotcha.
the exact limits on it.
Right.
I do know, at least with the conversation AI, which I'm going to have to do a little bit more research because that's a great question with this one. I do know with the conversation AI, you can load in like a Google Doc and literally fill the entire Google Doc with information, all that, and it'll just scan the
Yeah.
Google Doc. So I
Yeah.
don't know if you can throw in a URL here that would just scan the entire thing, which I think you probably, I don't see why you couldn't. But yeah, I mean, you could train this pretty well. And that's another cool thing, why I actually am a huge fan of this AI voice assistant. If you're thinking, and this is no like throwing shade or just like nothing against like people that are taking phone calls, but a lot of times it takes a little bit of time to ramp them up to being like fully understanding what your business does, work in the support chat. Hey, how do you answer this question? All these different things where it's like you could literally go through and upload this database one time,
Yeah.
instantly learns it. It's not taking a week, not
Yeah.
taking 3 weeks, 2 months. It's like instantaneously, it's understanding the entire business, knowing how to handle the questions, knowing the frequently asked questions, what are always being asked. Because typically, my experience, all businesses are being asked like the same 6 or 7 questions all the time, over and over and over again. So it's like if you just understand those basic ones, there's a few outlier questions, but there's the core that every business owner is getting asked all the time.
Yeah, which is a great point because a lot of people they don't think about it from a HR hiring or expansion standpoint of team members. I've seen it where appointment setters use an agent to support themselves, so they don't have to deal with hundreds of phone calls. Where on
Yeah.
paper, you might have thought something like this would replace them, but they often use this as a complement, and they're able to launch five assistants, so they don't have to make five calls all at the same time and just being more efficient in their functionality. But yeah, great point on the training standpoint.
Yeah. So, and then going back to your like, do these things, these actions happen live on the call? Like this call transfer, that will happen live on the call,
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
huge. If
yeah,
you've got a potential client that's calling in, get some basic info. Hey, this is like I need to transfer this to the business, like the head person, head sales rep, whoever it might be, live transfer. And then now the head sales rep, the realtor, whoever it is, they're only getting like the most qualified, filtered through phone conversations coming in. So when
yeah.
they do get a phone call, they know like, all right, this person's been vetted. This is someone I need and want to actually talk to.
Yeah, love it. So Jason, take us home on this AI gold rush, man. There's a lot more to discover even outside of this call. So you do need to jump in there and learn. There's a ton of third parties in our ecosystem that are evolving the AI movement, if that's even the right word. But take us home on this whole opportunity.
Yeah, honestly, I just it's one where being a high level affiliate, it's I mean I'm super excited because high level is always developing like the most cutting edge technology that I can then go promote. On the flip side, sometimes I'm like, oh shoot, like I want to just go through and just like take advantage of this opportunity because I see this this massive opportunity that's right in front of us, and I know the potential that it has for huge growth. Where I like to keep things simple and just focus. So I'm like, oh, I'll just keep talking about how great it is because it is like it's a huge game changer. And here's the thing too. We talked about like the agency gold rush of, websites, SEO, Google ads, Facebook ads, all these different things. The beauty about this over like a Facebook ads is Facebook ads is really cool, but one problem that we ran into is sometimes if you had success for the small business owner, it almost like you almost didn't want to be too successful with it because we would get to a point where we would get agents so many leads and they'd be like, I want to like, I don't want you to keep generating me leads this month because I have too many leads to go through and follow up with. I've got too many apply. I'm too busy because we did the job that we were supposed to do, right? And also it's like kind of it's like outbound, like it's you're trying to go through and just get new business. Whereas like this simple service, like go focus on businesses that already have the inbound, the inflow coming into their business. They're already getting found online. They're already showing up on Google. They're already all these things. And usually, if that's the case, one, they are a legit sustainable business that they have money to invest into a service like this. And two, they've already invested into some marketing sales solutions before in the past. So you don't have to sell them why it's important to invest into marketing because they've already done it and they understand the value of it. And so then it's like you're just basically filling this, plugging this hole like we talked about earlier, right?
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of times, if you're just trying to go get new leads, new business, get awareness, those are usually beginner type of businesses that a lot of times don't have the budget anyway to go through and get started, and so they're not going to be your ideal clients. Whereas this is perfect for an already successful business that's already running, that wants to be cutting edge, it's already investing in marketing. It's just throwing in a different feature, a different offer service that you can go through and provide for them.
Yeah, and the speed of results is the same day.
Instant.
Right,
Yep.
right. So back when we used to do Facebook ads, and Google ads, it took us, at least a couple of days to set things up and then wait for a couple of days before we can generate really qualitative leads that then we're hoping that they would convert. It's just a big process, and the other component of running an agency that people don't pay attention to is the talents and skills have to evolve with the customer base, meaning like you said, if you're running $5,000 in Facebook ads and they're like, great, you're doing a great job, Paul, then let's up it to 20,000. Then it's like, oh crap, the ad buyer I have to be to run a $20,000 budget for 100 clients is a different world versus $5,000 of ads budget for one client. It forces you to evolve. Same thing with SEO. Yeah, when you get majority of your clients up on the top of the ranking, now it's a different skill set to be able to preserve the rankings there
Yep.
versus getting them there, right? Like, so you have to evolve quite drastically from a talent and skills perspective while you're scaling because you're essentially dependent on your team's involvement, right? With this and the whole SaaSpreneur side of things, its idea is to go high volume with low tickets because you won't have certain pressures that you may not see unless you become a seasoned agency owner. You have to ask yourself, why are seasoned agency owners wanting software offers in their stack? Why is that? You have to ask yourself, and it's not a high level thing. It is a industry thing, right? Like the
Yep.
world of software is gonna be a better business model than a service-based business because you're product oriented. But yeah, Jason, I love this episode today that we just kind of went through. There's a lot to unpack, and of course, there's more depth to it. Where can people find you as we kind of close out the session for this AI marathon?
Yeah, just on YouTube's probably the best spot. That's where I'm the most active, I'd say. So yeah, just type in my name on YouTube, Jason Wardrop, and that's probably the best spot. And just kind of double down on something you said too is that I love about this is like I hope you guys see, and I said this at the beginning, but I hope you guys see now, like you don't need crazy tech skills, and it's not like the fulfillment doesn't rely on you, it is the software. So if you're in your head of like, I don't really want to talk to this business owner because I don't know if I can actually fulfill and get the result. If you can click a few buttons like I just showed you guys, the software will get the result. Like it has like remove yourself out of the equation, right? You don't have to be some like expert Facebook ads ninja, SEO ninja or anything like that. If you can click your mouse, click a few buttons, you can set this up. And if you can set this up, it will work and it will provide value for the business owner. And so it's kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, and one of the things that we didn't really talk about is there might be scenarios where you set it up for somebody and you don't charge them, but you charge them on the usage, right? You could make
100%.
back-end revenue on how much they use it. That's also another opportunity that we didn't really dive too much into, but the the AI gold rush is here to stay.
I,
It's
I
been
agree. I agree, man.
well, Jason, thank you for being part of this AI marathon. Looking forward to more of the content that you put out there, and thanks for all the work you do.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Bye for now.